welcome to All of Our Appearances Have Been Canceled, the Not So Pageanty Pageant Interview Show. I'm Mary Alyssa Beatty. I'm Mrs. Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, America 2020. And I'm here with the lovely, super sweet, wonderful Danielle Holliday, who currently is Mrs. Mile High City, Colorado 2020. Danielle, how are you?
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm going to hand it over to you to introduce yourself, but before we do that, I want to give some background. I like to give the viewers a little history about the woman I'm interviewing when I can. So Danielle, you were actually one of the people I have to thank for giving me the courage and the kind of push I needed to start in pageantry to start with. So a quick story about Danielle. Last year, I guess it was in 2018 when I first learned about the Mrs. Colorado pageant. I knew nothing about pageantry. The pageant was coming up in 3 months. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it. And I found Danielle on Instagram and just reached out, and she immediately responded and said, "Oh, if you want to have a call about it, I'm happy to talk about it." And she didn't know me, from any old stranger on the street. And she offered to talk to me. So we had a call, and she was very encouraging. And so probably the next day I signed up for the pageant, and here we are today.
That's awesome.
So thank you for, getting me involved in it. So Danielle, before we get into the interview, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So what is there to say, right? I guess the best way that I can always describe myself, and one of the reasons that that I've done the Mrs. Colorado pageant is that, um, you know, being married, you become this amazing person that you create a bond with your significant other, and you grow together, and then you also want to grow yourself. And The first couple of years of my marriage, I was growing myself, but I was also declining because at the same time that I was being a wife, I was also in this really crazy spot in my life where I was having multiple surgeries back to back, major surgeries. So back fusion, right and left hip surgeries, 3 years in a row. And anyone that has gone through back pain or surgeries in general knows, like, it can put you in this depression state. And so I was there. I was in that depression state, and I needed something to get me out of it. And I'd always been competitive growing up. I was a gymnast all my life, hence the 11 surgeries that I've had. and so my husband does body competitions, like physique shows. And so I thought, okay, well, maybe I want to do that. But my body really couldn't go through that type of initiative. So I was just kind of like you. Seriously, I was scrolling through Instagram one day, couch,
It's a great tool.
yeah, what am I going to do with my life? And I literally came across Valerie's crowning. So that would have been what, 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I ran into the office and I told my husband, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I said, this is what I'm doing. It will help me get off the couch. And we kind of talked through it and said, all right, let's put a plan together and do it in 2018. And it has been such an incredible experience to create who I am today, 2 years later. Seriously, I attribute it so much to the pageant.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I always say cliche to say, but it truly, it
Yeah.
does create you into a different person.
I agree with that. And I think especially because you and I and many women like us just started in pageantry at the Mrs. level. So it's not like we've had a history of it. So there really is a big growth spurt, if you will. When you start at the Mrs. level, it's like, I am who I am. I've shaped this person as far as I know. I feel like as an adult, we don't get a ton of opportunities to really have a growth spurt in that way. So when you sign up for pageantry, if you take it seriously, you're really going full speed ahead in terms of soul searching, right? What are my skills? What are my gifts? Getting your body ready, getting your mind ready, getting your spirit ready. So
Yeah,
I'm really glad you signed up because you got me into it. So
I seriously remember that conversation like it was yesterday. Like,
I know, right?
and I know I'm so happy that you signed up because it was a great year with you last year, and I'm sad that you moved to Pennsylvania.
I know. I mean, anybody from Pennsylvania, cover your ears. I'm kind of sad too, but I've been having a great experience in Pennsylvania, and the women I've got to know here through the system have been incredible. So
I'm sure.
thank you for encouraging me to step through that door.
Yes.
All right, Danielle. So let me tell you a bit about what's going to happen now. I'm going to ask you a series of questions across 5 different categories. So the first category is pageant related things. The second category is called Hey You, and those are just kind of questions about yourself, nothing too serious, nothing political. Then we have a category that's the guest question. Next is a category called Just Silliness, and that's one just kind of off the wall question that really isn't based too much in reality, just about what you think. And then we'll finish with a quick fire challenge, and that category changes every week. So I'll tell you what that category is when we get there. Sound
Okay.
okay with you?
Perfect.
All right, so let's jump into pageanty things. Okay, so last year when I was getting into pageantry, I was trying to figure out my pageant look and my pageant wardrobe, particularly for interview. And so I was kind of looking at celebrities to see what type of style icon I could find. And so last year, my style icon for interview and in general was Meghan Markle and Duchess Kate. So I was wondering if you have any style icons in terms of your pageant look. And if not, how would you describe your pageant look?
That's so funny because Megan is my style icon as well.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well, I mean, she's great, stylish and stunning.
amazing, right? And I've gotten multiple times over the past year for whatever reason. Did you know you look like Meghan Markle? I'm like, okay, thank you. Like,
I'll take it.
and so yeah, just thinking this year, like, what am I gonna wear? And I always attribute fashion or how I'm gonna come across to like my personal brand that I want to bring to the pageant. And so I kind of start back at that stage. Like, what do I want my brand to be when I walk into orientation, into interview, on stage, even rehearsals? And my brand that I want to project is like modern, because I do say that I have the modern family. My husband and I were 22 years age difference. I'm a bonus mom and grandma. And so I kind of live that modern family life. So that's kind of what I try to project in my fashion as well. And so, yeah, it's fun, unique lines, I guess you could say, is what I look like or look for, whether it's a dress or jumpsuit. I'm still figuring that out. I have no idea for interview. Um, my dress is supposed to come today. I don't even know if I'm going to like it. I
Oh,
ordered it online.
oh wow. That's exciting.
So, yeah. But I don't know. It's honestly like I can think that I'm going to love something and then try it on and not like it. Right. So,
Oh, absolutely.
as as long as I feel comfortable in it. And then I also do have another tool at my disposal. My husband is a stylist, and so I get that little nudge towards my opportunity to bring in fashion to the pageant as well.
Nice. Keep that in the back pocket.
Yeah.
Cool, cool. All right, so next question. What do you think is the most difficult element of pageantry overall?
um. Well, I personally think that it's finding your story. Um, we kind of talked about it at the beginning. You, as an adult, you get into this. I don't want to call it a rut, but you get into the person that you are and who you've kind of become, whether it's individual or professional. And so the pageantry really creates the opportunity for you to develop your story and how
Yeah.
you're going to be unique towards if you become the title holder. And whether it's state or national or whatever it might be. So it pushes you outside of that comfort zone to say, who are you and what do you bring to the table? And so to me, that is the biggest push of pageantry. Um, I also think that, there are people that are introverts that want to be some type of extrovert. And I always say I am kind of an introvert, and
Mhm.
so the pageantry has helped me um, get out of that shell
Yeah.
per se, and push myself to be somewhat of an extrovert.
Yeah. Growing. It's all
Yeah.
about growth. All right. Very good. Now, my favorite part is when I show you my favorite picture of you that I found on your Instagram. And then I want you to tell us a bit about the picture in terms of what was going on at that time, how you were feeling, and things like that. So
Okay.
I chose this picture.
Ah.
Sorry about the glare. So, what is this all about?
um.
Oh, wait, just
So,
because the back is so gorgeous, I'll show that part too.
ah. Yeah. No.
Yes.
Oh.
I don't know how the glare is hitting. So, tell us about this.
Um. So again, I last that was my that was prelims last year for the
Mhm.
pageant. And I don't know, in that moment, I felt so calm, and just that, like, I was having the time of my life last year. Last year's pageant was just amazing to me. I'd come into my story. I knew who I was and who I wanted to be in that moment. I had so many family and friends in the audience that as soon as they said my name, it was roaring. And actually, the back I'm going to talk about the back picture a little bit.
Okay.
This is the front picture. So the back picture has two meanings to me. Um, I want to always have like an open back dress because I have a huge scar that goes up my back from my back fusion. And I am so proud of my scars. I say that they are my battle wounds. And so I want to show that off. And so that was one aspect of the dress that I wanted to incorporate last year.
Mhm.
And then what also hits me on that picture is that one of my nieces was in the audience, and probably just about that time where you were walking backstage and then you pivot, to face the audience.
Mhm.
My niece was like, "Go, Danny!" And it just made me smile so hard because they are so happy to see you up there, and to hear her little voice shout that was so like heartwarming to me. And I just remember I had the biggest smile and I almost laughed my head off stage. But I don't know, like I was just so calm in that moment.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. So, a number of people watching this may know this. A number of people probably don't, because not everybody watches the Colorado pageant. But you were the runner-up last year. So, in prelims, did you have any feeling of like, I am rocking this? Like, I'm doing well. Could you just tell?
Not at all. Girl, I literally thought I was bombing it because in my interview, I ugly cried in my interview. Like, the point where I was so embarrassed. And you only have 3.5 minutes with those
Yeah.
judges. And I think I was on my third question, and you try to get five. So I was on my third question, and it provoked me to cry.
Mhm.
And I was legit ugly crying, trying to work through that cry and still answer the question.
Yeah.
And I remember as soon as I got out, I went up to my coach, Shalon, and I was like, "Girl, I bombed interview. Like, I couldn't even." She's like, "It's okay. Just move on to the next phase, right? Like, that's behind you. You can't do anything about it." And
Mhm.
so, interview was in my head, but again, I couldn't do anything about it. So all I could do was get on that stage and know that I was comfortable in my body. I loved my dress.
Mhm.
I loved my look, and just be calm.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So,
great.
but no, I had no idea. Absolutely no idea. Because seriously, the year before, I didn't even make top 12. So I was like, last year, my goal was just top 12.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah. Yeah. That's fabulous.
yeah.
Well, inspiring story, and I love the story about the open back dress. That's really beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to the category called Hey You. So if you were a pair of shoes, what pair of shoes would you be?
Oh my gosh. I had this question in my first interview for
Really?
I swear.
Random question to put in a pageant.
Because um on on our bio we have to have 6 facts about us. I have
Uh,
100 pairs of shoes in my closet.
oh, wow.
They asked me that exact question.
Oh, wow. What did you say?
Um, I totally failed, and I don't even remember what I said because I didn't know what I was doing. But I was so nervous that first year. So I've given this question actually a lot of thought, and honestly, like just a fire pair of black stilettos is
Mm,
that shoe. That is a power shoe. As
yeah,
soon as I put it on, I don't care if I'm going to dinner with my husband or walking into like a boardroom.
yeah,
I badass.
yeah. Nice. Do you have multiple pairs of black stilettos?
Yeah, I have like a whole row of just black.
Love that.
Because you can't have enough, right?
Yeah.
Open toe, peep toe, closed
Oh
toe.
my gosh. I own many shoes. I have like flip-flops, Uggs I still wear. Um, so if I were a shoe, I'd be like a sock.
Yeah,
Like I'd be like a comfy winter sock. But anyway, moving on.
love it.
So you have gorgeous, lovely, long, beautiful hair. Did you ever in your life have a haircut that you regret?
Oh, yes. I think when I was in middle school, I did like the bob cut with the bangs, and the bangs were like the super, super really tight curl bangs. And I look back and I'm like, Mom, what were you what were you allowing me to do?
Yeah,
You do you, Danny.
I had a very similar situation, so
Yeah.
I feel that. There's a picture in in my parents' basement. It's actually my freshman year of college, which is like way too old to be that hideous. But my husband always sees it and he's like, "Why are you wearing that helmet?" And I'm like, "That's not a helmet. That was my hair. It was really humid that day, so it was like basically a helmet." Anyway, oh, so this question is inspired by your last name. If you could create and design your own brand new holiday, what would that holiday be?
Oh, oh my goodness. That is a great question I've never thought of. Uh, well, okay. I'm gonna say that every day is a holiday in our household. Literally, my maid of honor coined that during our wedding, and I thought it was the cutest. So we have a hashtag, always a holiday, and that's actually my handle, I think. Um, but a particular day, I think I don't know. I love my dogs, so something around our dogs. I don't
Yeah.
know, dog day or something. I know there's already a dog day, but something about the dogs. I love dogs. So
Oh, what kind of dogs do you have?
I have a little terrier. He is 8 years old, and then a Rottweiler who is 6.
Oh, so cute.
So
I love
big.
dogs too. We have a boxer and he's 11.
Hmm.
So he- doing a lot of old dog things now. So it's kind of, I mean, sad to see him decline, but it's kind of cute because he's just this like little old man going about his day and he's just so precious to us. So I vote for the dog holiday. I'm
Yes. Love
All
it.
right, so we're going to go to our guest question, and this question comes from our friend Fritz out in the West Coast. What's up? Thank you for the question. And Fritz wants to know what has been your splurgiest Amazon purchase since lockdown? And if not Amazon specifically, some type of online purchase.
Um. Well, I didn't purchase it particularly, but I got it for my birthday from my parents, and it's a Cricut machine. I would say that would
What
be like,
is that? I've seen people kind of talking about it, and I don't know what it is.
yeah. To be honest, I don't. I'm not like the pro at it, and I wanted one just because maybe FOMO in my life.
Uh-huh.
But ultimately, you can create so many different things. You can create like vinyl decals. You can create t-shirts, like press-ons for t-shirts. Like just a bunch of different things you can create. Essentially, you can make your own Etsy store. if you want.
Okay. Oh,
So,
cool. Oh, nice.
yeah, so I'm sure I will get into a lot of the Cricut tools and everything that needs to go with it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's probably it. I haven't really bought a lot, to be honest with you.
Um, well, good for you because it seems like a lot of people in America are kind of going nuts with the online shopping right now. So
Yeah.
I
How about
may
you?
or may not occasionally jump into that.
Yeah.
But I buy little things. Like the other day, I was just kind of feeling down and I ended up buying like a $3 mud mask. And I was like, ooh, I'm going to treat myself. I
Yeah.
got like a mud
Yeah.
mask. I mean, the shipping alone was kind of stupid. But anyway, it's not about me. It's just about you. So let's go to the next category called just silliness. So if tear gas makes people tear and laughing gas makes people laugh, what other gases do you wish were around?
Oh. Um, I was gonna answer, but I don't want to get into political answer right now. So,
Okay, that's fair.
right, because like my initial thought was happiness gas,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna go with confidence gas. Just
Yeah.
um,
I think some people call that like alcohol, but
yeah, like,
but I see what you're saying.
yeah, but it's so important to have confidence in who you are and whether you're at the point in your life that you want to be or not. Like, have confidence in your life and where you're gonna be going, and that will get you, you know, happiness at the end of the day. So, maybe confidence gas.
For sure. That makes sense. And I feel like so many more things would get done if
Yeah,
people just weren't afraid to even try. And
yeah,
if they had the confidence to do it, just everybody would be so much more productive and
right,
probably happy and friendly and fulfilled. So great
yeah.
answer. All right, so now we're going into our last category, which is the quick fire category. And so we're going to revisit the would you rather. So I'll give you a list of would you rather, and you don't have to explain your choice if you don't want, because it's a quick fire. But if at some point you feel like you want to explain your choice, you're welcome to do so. Would you rather have to drink all of your drinks from a huge bucket or from a baby bottle?
Baby bottle.
Okay. Would you rather grow antennas like a bug or a fluffy tail like a rabbit?
Rabbit. So cute.
Adorable. You'd probably start a new trend and everybody would be getting like uh, synthetic rabbit tails put on them. All right. Would you rather, in this scenario, we have to imagine you were back in your single years. Okay. So would you rather have the toilet overflow on a first date or on your first day at a new job?
Oh, that I think a first date because that's gonna show you the rest of your life.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good test right off the bat.
Yeah, exactly.
What
We
would
went
you even do?
on our first date, so there was everything was off the table at that point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, that sounds good. Oh, would you rather be stuck in an elevator or on a ski lift?
On a ski lift, at least it's pretty.
Yeah, that's a good point. When we
Yeah.
lived in Boulder, I got stuck in an elevator with my dog, and the fire department had to come and get us out. And we were stuck between two floors. So, actually, my mom doesn't know this story. I never told her because she used to get on that elevator and she would never get on it if I told her. But we were stuck between two floors, and the firemen had to come lift me and lift my dog out
Oh
of the
my god.
elevator. And my poor dog, when they lifted him out, he was so scared he actually peed on the fireman. It was, it was
Oh.
kind of crazy, but we made it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Boulder Fire Department.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, how
Yes.
scary.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So here's the last one, and this question actually comes from my husband. And I'm afraid to even ask because now I have to say this stuff. So he wanted to know which '90s phrase would you rather be stuck saying all the time? It's like your thing. So would you rather always go like, "What's up?" Or would you rather always say, "Did I do that?"
Uh,
I think you're so bad.
I have to go with Urkel. Did I do that?
Yeah. Oh.
Oops.
Could you imagine having to say that in a judge's interview? Like if you knocked something over and you were like, "Did I do that?"
Did I do that?
But I get
Oops.
to they're walking in and being like, "What's up?"
I think they would look at you like, yeah, next.
Yeah, right. So you're going with the Urkel?
I'm gonna go with Urkel.
All right. Good one. Good one. All right, Danny. Well, you have survived. You made it through all the questions. You did a great job. So before we go, is there anything you want to say to the people?
Um, keep smiling, have fun, enjoy your family while you have the time these days. And thank you so much for having me on. This was so much fun. Thank
Bye.
you.
It's a pleasure. And I'm so happy to see your face after all this time. So it's nice to hang out.
I know. Same here.
All right. Well, thank you again, Danielle. Bye.